Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Hope that you're all doing really well and hope that you've had a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for all our messages and thank you so much for the really kind donations that you've been sending. We really do appreciate that. So the class today, we're going to be looking at a sequence, some poses, some really nice breathing work and some meditation at the end. So it's going to be great for releasing any stress, any tension that you might be having. So a really good one as well to do to set up the rest of your week. So what we're going to need is, don't worry about a belt today, but if you've got a blanket, if you need that, a block might be very handy as well, something that you can just put your hands on or for seated. So once you've got all that, once you're all ready, we will start off lying down onto the floor. So come into that really nice comfortable position and just checking out how the back's feeling. If it's appropriate to allow your legs to lengthen, then let them lengthen. If not, just keep them bent. And allow your eyes to close and just start to soften around your shoulders. Let your legs relax. Let your arms, let your hands relax. Just start to bring some awareness into your spine and just really feel that you're supported right now by the earth. So begin to feel present with the place that you are right now and be present with the body. Just notice what parts of the body are touching the earth right now. And just take a moment to breathe in through the nose and just open the mouth and just sigh the breath out. And we'll do that 2 more times. So breathe in through the nose, open the mouth and sigh the breath out. And last one, breathe in through the nose, open the mouth and sigh the breath out. And then just slowly go back to now breathing in and out through the nose. And start to find your own rhythm with the breath. If it helps, let your fingers just come to that belly area, elbows nice and soft, shoulders relaxed. And start to tune in with the breath. Begin to be aware of that rise and fall that you might be feeling around that abdomen area. And you might feel practice today. Just be quite comfortable in just for a moment, taking in a moment to lengthen out the inhale and the exhale. So we're starting to feel that you're breathing in for the same amount as you're breathing out. So if it's good, just sticking to this point from here, that nice equal Samavitri breath. Or if it feels like it's an option today, we're going to start to extend that exhale out for slightly longer than the inhale. So breathing in. And then making your exhale just a bit longer. And carrying on doing that, inhaling in and out through the nose still. And making your exhale slightly longer so you're releasing any last bits of breath. So carry on with that. You're going to do that for a few more moments. Really starting to drop into that state of feeling more relaxed. Feeling that we're starting to soothe that nervous system by allowing our exhale to become just a little bit longer. And then just release that breathing. Begin to bend the legs, draw the knees in towards the chest. And give them a really nice hug in. Take your knees, take your feet just a little bit wider. You can take them hip distance or even go for a little bit longer than that. And just draw your knees gently towards you. Keep thinking about softening your shoulders. So you might like to just think about that a little bit more in your practice today. Where can we soften our shoulders a bit more? And that's always a place that you can soften more. And another one is always the face. So just see if even by here, you can relax the face. Can you relax the skin? Can you relax the jaw? Maybe even feel that the neck relaxes. And then releasing, we're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And we're going to gently open out the knees to the side. We're going to take a cactus arms position from here. So we're going to bend the arms, cactus the arms, and nice and open with the arms from here as we just soften the shoulders, as we start to relax a little bit more into the hips. Give some attention to the hips right now and notice for yourself whether they feel maybe a bit tight. Maybe you notice one hip is a bit tighter than the other. Maybe you feel one knee is lifting a little bit more to the other, and that's absolutely fine. Just take a few nice breaths and think about your chest just expanding gently. So even releasing any tension, any tightness that we may be holding around your chest right now. We'll take a couple more breaths from here. And then releasing the arms, let your knees come back to the centre. We're going to take our feet nice and wide as our mat. If that doesn't work, they can stay hip distance. The arms are going to open out to our T shape, or we're going to cactus the arms, depending on what space that you've got. So we're going to inhale as we breathe out, knees to the right, head to the left. Inhale, knees to the centre, head to the centre. Breathing out, knees to the left, head to the right. Inhale, head to the centre, knees to the centre. We're going to continue to do this a few more times, rolling onto the edges of the feet and taking our head to that opposite direction. So start to notice what that feels like as we do this a bit more. Start to feel that you're starting to get a little bit more into those hips. Starting to release any tension that you might be feeling around your neck area. So twists are always good. I always think twists are really good. Not only do they give a good release to especially the back of the body, but they have more of a mental feeling as well. So that feeling that you get when you release after that twist, it's that sense of, letting go. We'll do that a couple more times. And this is always nice to do if you find that you're a bit tight during the day. So do a few of these in the morning or even a few at night time. If you find that the back's a little bit tight, it will help to loosen up your back. Last one, finish off on that left side and then coming back to the centre. You can keep your legs bent. You can take the arms down by the sides of the body. We're going to draw your right knee in towards the chest, and if it's appropriate, stretch your left leg away and give it a really good stretch. Can you relax your shoulders a little bit more? So we're checking out the rest of the body, making sure that we're not letting any tension today creep into the upper body. So relax your shoulders, let your face soften. If it's appropriate, spread your toes of both feet from here. So you're really getting into your hips today. You're giving the legs a good stretch out, releasing any tension around, especially that lower part of the body. And then keeping the hands around that right thigh. Just start to make a few circles with your hips from here. So circling that right knee. And then reversing the action, circling in that other direction from here. And then coming back to the centre. I'm going to take a few moments to take this into a twist from here. So your left hand comes to the outside of that right knee. Right arm's going to move out to the side. And then we're going to take a nice twist. Encourage that knee to move across that body. And we can slowly let your head turn towards that right side. Think about your shoulders again. Where can you soften a little bit more? Can you relax your forehead? Can you visualise that the skin and feel it around the face just softening, releasing any tension that we might hold around that face and that jaw area. And then we'll ease back to the centre. We'll have both legs bent again. Reposition the legs so the spine's nice and neutral. And then we'll do that the same on the left side. So we'll draw the left knee in towards the chest, hugging that knee in. And if you did it on the other side, let your right leg have a really good lengthen from here. If it works, you can make both feet active. Think about your shoulders. Can you just soften the tops of your shoulders a little bit more? Relaxing the face. Is your forehead nice and smooth? If we can think about this softness in the forehead, it has a really soothing effect on the mind. And then we're going to start to make a few circles with that knee from here, just to start to get into your hip joint from here. So keep your shoulders still nice and relaxed, and then circling out in the other direction. Coming back to the centre, we'll take that into that twist. So the right hand comes to the outside of that left knee, left arm to the side, and we'll ease that knee across the body. We'll start to turn the head this time towards that right side, and then think about where you can soften. Maybe you can use your breath a bit more, especially that exhale, to soften a little bit more. Where are you holding any tension, any tightness? Can you release it? The more we think about it in the practice, the more that you're automatically going to think about releasing tension in the body when you're doing just your everyday things. And then we'll come back to the centre. This time we'll hug both knees in towards the chest, drawing both knees in. If it feels good, we can start to lift your head towards the knee, knees towards you a bit more. You don't want to strain your head here. Shoulders still nice and relaxed. And then coming back from here. And then we'll drop the knees over to one side, and then we'll ease all the way up into a nice seated position from here. So we're going to come to a nice cross-leg position, or a position that's appropriate for your legs. Hands can rest on the knees from here, and we're going to do some seated cat stretches. So you're going to take a nice inhale, lift in your chest. You might gaze up slightly if it feels good. And then breathing out, press into the hands, drawing the navel in, gazing down. So working through, inhaling, think about sending your chest through. Breathing out, nice long breaths today as we round over. We'll do a couple more. Inhale, think about releasing any tension that you've been holding around your chest. Releasing, rounding over as we breathe out. 2 more. Inhale to come through. Get that nice release in the back as well. Breathing out, pressing to the hands, rounding over. Last one for this one. Inhale to come through. Exhale, rounding over from here. And then coming all the way back to seated. Going to do a few more twists from here. So lots of lovely releasing twists in the class today. So we're going to inhale, we come to the centre. And as we breathe out, we're going to twist towards the right side. Left hand on that right knee, right hand behind. Inhale to come back to the centre. Breathing out, we'll go over towards that opposite side, to that left side. We'll keep working this way for a few breaths. Inhale to the centre. Exhale as we come back into that twist. Inhale to the centre. Breathing out into that twist. Last one on each side. Inhale to the centre. Breathing out to that right side. Inhale to the centre. Exhale over towards that left side. And then come all the way back to the centre. Going to work a little bit more into our shoulders today. So you're going to just start to do some nice shoulder rolls from here. So you can start to move the shoulders back and down. And just think about how nice this feels. I always say it feels like you're getting a bit of a massage from here. Feeling how your joints are moving. Noticing any tension, any stiffness. And then the other way, so you can move them forward from here and then coming forward. That's it. Couple more from here. Just to work it a little bit more. This time we can lift the hands. So lift up and then coming forward. Getting into the arms a little bit from here. Going to keep the arms quite relaxed as well. And then going the other way. So we actually use the arms as well in this movement. Really nice release from here. Hopefully that's feeling really good. Lovely. And then we'll bring our hands behind us from here. So we're going to take our fingers in towards the body, or you can take them out to the side if it's not feeling comfortable on the wrists. And then we'll open up your chest. Give a nice lift from here. You might even look up towards the sky, get a really nice stretch on your neck, and then soften and release. And then we'll move ourselves into our nice all fours position. So if you do need to do it seated, that's fine. We can continue to do some cat stretches seated. But if it's all right for the knees, hands are nice and spread, knees underneath the hips. You're going to inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the front of the body, lift the head gazing up. And then rounding over, drawing into the navel, really let the head relax. Using that inhale to come through, let your shoulders soften. And breathing out, rounding over. Think about releasing any tension down, through the neck, down into the head. Let it go. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round over. And then come back to the centre. We'll take an inhale from here as we breathe out. The right shoulder draws towards that right hip. Don't strain your head. Inhale back to the centre. Breathing out. Left shoulder draws towards that left hip. Inhale to come back to the centre. I'll do a couple more each time. Breathing out towards that right side. Inhale to the centre. Breathing out towards that left side. Inhale to the centre. We'll go one more each side. Breathing out right side. Inhale to the centre. Last time over towards that left side. And back to the centre from here. So from here we're going to work into our thread the needle pose. I always think because there's two of them, they sound quite similar. So what we need from here is you might need a bit of support for your head. If you're familiar with this one, you don't need it, that's fine. Either a block or a blanket, anything, or a pillow that can help to support the head from here. So we're going to take a moment just to be nice and still from here, all fours. So what it's going to be, I'm just going to shuffle over. So if I do it this way, you'll be able to see me. The left arm's going to lift. You can look towards that left arm. And then as you breathe out, you're going to thread that arm so it comes underneath the right one. You're going to bend your arm from here and you're going to start to slowly lower down towards the floor, ear down towards the block or your support. So the bottom hands can relax. The right arm, you can start to maybe creep that arm away from you. So you start to, first of all, get a nice stretch into that arm. You might be on the fingertips or you might press that hand down. Take a few nice breaths. And then we're going to creep the hands back underneath the shoulder. Hands going to press into the floor. But this time, you want to start thinking about opening up into that right shoulder. So you're using that hand just to ease a little bit more. And hopefully that feels really good just to get a bit of opening into any tight shoulders that you might be having. And then soften and release. And we can use both hands this time as we come back to the centre. So we're going to swap ourselves over. So this time it's going to be the right hand is going to lift. So the right arm's going to lift up from here. And then breathing out, we're going to thread that arm through. You're going to bend that arm. You're going to lower your ear down towards the block or your blanket or just down to the floor. Bottom hands can relax. It's going to be your left hand this time so you can explore creeping out, walking out with that hand. So you start to get a really nice stretch into that arm and you can walk it out as is appropriate for you. So notice where all these things start to feel really good in the body. There might be a particular pose or a movement where you start to feel it really starts to get into any tight spots of the body. And then you're going to draw that left hand back so it comes underneath roughly that shoulder and you can start to press into that hand so you start to get even more lovely opening into that left side. You might feel really nice stretch around the upper back, maybe around about the sides of the body as well. And then slowly pressing up from here. You can release your block out the way just for a moment. I'm going to put it around here. And we're going to sink back into child's pose. So take some weight back towards the heels. If you can today, let the arms walk out. So stretch the arms so you get just a wonderful stretch from here. Let your head release down towards the floor. Take a moment just to breathe from here. And then walking the hands back. This time you're going to take the hands down and the arms down by the sides of the body. You might need to move your knees in a bit closer as we lower the head down towards the floor. And really think about softening your shoulders from here. Think about releasing your head. Think about just soothing your mind. A great one if you've got tension, if you've got headaches. This can help to just soothe. It's like a little dose of medicine, child's pose. And then we'll push up from here. So we'll come back to the all fours. I'm going to turn myself around. All fours from here. And we're going to press up into our downward dog. So we're going to tuck the toes under, lift up into our downward dog and take some weight back and get a good stretch in the legs. And just start to gently walk out through the legs. Give them a nice release from here, stretching the legs. Take the weight back towards the heels. We're going to extend your right leg behind you, stretch out with the leg. And then if it works, you're going to drop your foot back from here. You're going to open that knee out to the side. Try not to take any extra weight onto that left side. So take some weight back into that right hand. And then slowly come back to the centre. We're going to step that foot in between the hands. We're going to plant that back foot down. And we're going to move up into a warrior position. So we're going to take our time to lift up from here. We're going to reach the arms up. And today you're going to open your arms out a little bit more. So a nice V shape. So we can really think about allowing our tops of our shoulders to be lovely and relaxed. You can either look forward or look up if it feels good. Keep softening those tops of the shoulders. We'll cactus the arms from here and bend the arms and let your shoulders soften even more as you send your chest forward. You might turn it into a little bit of a baby back bend from here. And then we'll come back down to the floor. You can swivel on that back foot or make your own way back down. And we'll move back into our downward dog again. So take a few moments just to breathe into that really nice stretch of the legs. This time it's going to be your left leg is going to lift up. So give it a good lengthen away. Really stretch that leg. And we'll bend that leg now. We'll let that knee open out towards that left side. So make sure that all that weight's not going on that right hand. Take some weight back into that left one. Really nice release for your hips. And then bring your knee back to the centre. You're going to start to draw that knee through and step that foot in between the hands. We'll ground that back foot or finding your own way to come up. No rush, just take your time. Come all the way up into our warrior position, so our warrior one. Make sure hips are round to the front. We're going to lift up the arms, same position with the arms, so V shape. Think about how are your shoulders feeling? Let them soften. Any tightness that you've been holding around your shoulders, let them soften. We're going to cactus the arms, bend the arms, cactus the arms. As we draw our shoulders back and down, think about expanding out into your chest. We release tension in your chest. You might turn it into a bit of a baby back arch, but mind your back from here. Really nice. And then slowly releasing from here. We're going to swivel on that back foot and we'll press back into your downward dog. Couple of breaths from here. And then a really nice movement that we can do with our mouth, our lips, that helps to release tension is where we blubber the lips in this pose. So you breathe in, and as you breathe out, it's a... I always think of it maybe a bit of a horse noise, and we'll do that 3 more times. So breathing in, and then we'll use the exhale to blubber the lips. Do 2 more. Last one. Lovely. And then we're going to bend the legs. We're going to start to slowly walk our feet towards the hands. That is a good one to release a bit of stress and tension. Hands on the hips, and then we'll slowly lift up from here. Really nice. And shoulders moving back and down. So we're going to come to mountain pose for a few breaths. And take a moment to bring your shoulders up to the ears and then rolling your shoulders back and down. Let them really just soften from here. Feel that really nice release. Just take a few moments to enjoy those moments of feeling grounded and present. So whatever's going on in your life right now, just let yourself just be here. Feel yourself through your feet, through your legs. Feel your physical body. Feel your connection to the earth. Feel your softening. And feel this lovely feeling of allowing your energy just to move freely in this lovely open position that is your mountain posture. And then slowly release your eyes. Let your eyes open. So we'll keep your feet, if you can, stepping them in just a few inches apart from here. And we're going to interlock the fingers, and we'll have the index finger pressing, we'll have the thumbs crossing. And we're going to start to slowly lift up your arms from here. And we're going to hold it here and breathe. So for some of us, the arms might be more forward and they might be more bent. For some of us, we might even be able to lengthen them more. For some of us, we might even be able to extend them back slightly. And you're going to think about just maybe that feeling of opening up around your shoulders, thinking about inviting more expansion into your chest. So we can hold a lot of tension in the chest area. Maybe it's when we're scared, maybe it's when we're anxious. So anything like this is just going to really get into it, allow us to breathe more and replace any feelings that need to be replaced with feelings of calmness and ease. Lovely. And we're going to take a side stretch from here. So before you do your side stretch, press into the feet, draw into the navel. And as you breathe out, we're going to start to side bend over towards that right side. So make sure that that top arm, it doesn't move forward. If it moves forward, you're going to lose that lovely stretch. And then slowly coming back to the centre. Inhale. And as you breathe out, we'll go over towards that left side. Make sure that top arm doesn't move forward. Keep it straight over that ear. That head rather, yeah. And then slowly inhale it, coming back to the centre. Releasing the hands and slowly allow the arms to come down. We're going to take a moment to interlock the fingers behind. Just gently roll your shoulders back. Feel this really nice release. We're going to take a nice forward fold from here. Forward folds are always good to soothe and ease and calm. So you might like to step your feet a little bit wider, hip distance apart, feet facing forwards. And as you breathe out, we're going to slowly start to release from here. So you might let your arms come up and over, or you might keep them on the lower back. And think about your head. Can you really think about relaxing your head down today? We hold a lot of tension in our head. Our head weighs quite a lot. So you have to be really conscious and aware that you're just releasing and letting it just lengthen down towards the earth. And then taking your hands onto your lower back, yeah, and then releasing, just folding the arms. And take a moment to just gently release from side to side from here. So going a nice sway movement just to get into any tight spots into the body. Hands can come to the hips, and then we'll lift all the way up and we'll come back to standing position again. Mountain posture for a few breaths. Feel nice and open in the front of the body. Long, slow breaths from here. And then we're going to start to open up into our warrior positions. So we're going to come into our warrior 2 today. So the legs are going to open from here. Feet nice and wide. Hands on the hips. Let your right foot turn all the way out. Let your left foot turn straight forward. Let your arms extend, shoulders nice and relaxed. Gazing towards that right side. Inhale and use your exhale to bend into that right leg from here. Just for a moment, let your palms turn up towards the sky and think about all this feeling of openness and softening around the upper shoulder area, around the arms. And then we're going to turn our palms so they face back down. Let your shoulders soften more without losing that lovely stretch into the arm. We're going to work side angle stretch. So right hand's going to rest on that thigh. Top arm's going to lift up. And maybe that palm faces towards us. Maybe that arm takes a really nice stretch from here. And then we'll gaze down. We'll use our arms to, with grace and ease, lift us back up from here. Lengthening that leg, feet to the front, releasing the hands. So when you come to these postures today, think about easing any tightness around maybe that side body as well, around your hips. Hands on the hips, your left leg is going to turn out. Right foot is forward. We're going to raise the arms again, extend them, gazing towards that left side. Inhale, and as we breathe out, we're going to bend into that left leg. We're going to press back into that right foot. We're going to open up the arms just for a moment, palms facing up towards the sky. Think about feeling this sense of just openness while we're here. And then turning your palms back down. Think about your shoulders today. So can you really let your shoulders soften from here? We'll move now into side angle stretch. Left arm bends, rests on the leg. Top arm lifts up. You can either hold it here or palm faces towards you and take that arm up and over. So getting a really nice feeling of just stretching out into the sides of the body. Keep pressing into that outside edge of that right foot just to enhance that stretch even more. Gaze down, use your arms, use that strength as we draw the navel in and lifting all the way up. Feet to the front and then heel toe or step your feet back together from here. So I'm going to continue to do a couple more forward folds as they are good, like I said, for easing stress and tension. They just have a really calming effect on the mind and the body. So we'll come back to Uttanasana, a really nice variation we're going to do with the arms to just soothe the neck. So feet hip distance apart. So you're going to allow yourself to interlock your hands behind the head. So we're clasping the hands. And just for a moment, before we come into that, you're going to take a nice inhale. So you're going to just open up into the chest. You might just come into a bit of a baby back bend. Don't overwork the back from here. And then as you breathe out, you're going to soften the knees. You're going to start to slowly come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. So let your thumbs extend down the lengths of your neck. And without forcing your head at all, just use the weight of your hands just to gently ease a little bit more into that neck. So really nice, think about that lovely feeling of softness. And with your thumbs, you might even give your neck just a little bit of a massage to soothe any tight spots that you might be having into your neck. And you're going to just take the hands down to the floor, maybe back of the hands release, or the hands can come to the hips. Nice, long, slow, soothing breaths from here. And then the hands can come to the hips, and then we'll slowly lift all the way up and we'll come all the way back to standing. So from here, we're going to do a really nice twist. We're going to work into our wide legs, forward fold, and we'll work some really nice twists to get that sense of release. So if you know that your hands doesn't come down easy to the floor, grab your block or brick or anything that you could use that could help your hands. So you're going to come into the centre of your long side of the mat. You're going to open out your feet, so as wide as you would normally do for your wide-legged forward fold. And just for a moment, take the block out in front. That's fine. So feet to the front from here. So we're going to come into a forward fold first of all. Just ever so slightly turn your big toes in a bit so it feels like your pigeon toes. Take a moment just to activate, press into the feet. So you don't want to be collapsing onto those inner arches. You want to be taking some weight back into those outside edges, all that strengthening in the ankles. You know, inhale, and as you exhale, soften the knees, and we're hinging at the hips. So we're starting to come forward. So if it's an option, if your block is down to the floor, you can move your block so that it would support the top of your head from here. So maybe you don't come too deep into this posture today, but you do a movement that's going to be really soothing for your head from here. You just got to judge what's going to be best. For me, this level works really nice. So it's in the forehead rather than the top of your head. Take a few nice easy breaths. And then we'll lift back up, hands on the hips and lifting all the way back up. So now we'll move into that forward fold again, but we'll add our twist. So the block might come in really handy for your hands. If you don't need the block, you don't have to use it, that's fine. So we'll hinge forward again, so we'll come forward. We're going to find a twist towards that right side first of all. So your left hand's going to come down either centre of the mat or slightly forward of the feet. Will make it a little bit more easier on the shoulders. And then your right hand's on the hip and you open up that top arm, or you can keep the hands onto the hip. And we'll flow a bit with the breath going from side to side. So inhale, and as we breathe out, both hands come back to the floor. And then as we inhale, we start to swap over as we find a twist towards that left side. And then breathing out, we come back to the centre. Inhale, lifting up, turning towards that right side. Breathing out to the centre. Inhale to that left side. Exhale back to the centre. We're going to hold it this time. So inhale over towards that, which will be the right side. And think about not collapsing into that bottom hand. So press that hand into the floor, extend out with the top fingers, extend out with the crown of the head. And then exhale, soften and release, come to the centre. Last time over towards that left side. So right hand's down. You're going to start to open up towards that left side from here. Try to press into that hand, reach up with that top finger. And then feel that lovely sense of release as you come back to the centre. Hands on the hips, lifting up from here. And we've been wide for quite a while, so maybe you feel the legs a bit shaky. You're going to slowly heel toe or step your feet back together and come all the way back to the mat. You can just remove any props just for a moment. And we're going to just practice a breathing exercise from here. And it's going to be one that's going to invite full breaths, calming breaths. And it's a really good way of just de-stressing and releasing. So what you want to do is you want to have your feet hip distance apart, feet facing forward. And then you're going to have your right hand is going to be placed in your left hand from here. Just take a few moments to breathe. And then as you inhale, you're going to draw both hands up towards the chest, just in front of the throat. And then breathing out, you're going to turn the palms, soften the knees as you press the hands down from here. You're going to cross your thumbs, palms facing in, and then as you inhale, start to lift the arms. You can lengthen the legs at this point as you reach up, and then breathing out, opening the arms out to the sides, coming all the way back to that first position, right hand in left. Inhale, lifting the hands up towards you past the throat. Exhale, soften the knees, pressing your hands down from here. Crossing your thumbs. Inhale, lengthening the legs as we lift the arms up from here. Breathing out as we open out the arms to the sides and we come back to the centre. So we'll do two more, right and left. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, soften the knees, pressing the hands down. Crossing the thumbs. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, open the arms out to the sides. Right hand in left. Inhale to lift up. Soften the knees, turn the palms. Exhale, press the hands down. Linking the thumbs. Inhale to lift the arms up. And exhale, releasing the hands down. Good. And just settle for a few moments into your mountain pose. Notice yourself whether you feel just a little bit more relaxed right now. Maybe you feel a bit more open in the body. So we're going to roll ourselves down to the floor from here. So you're going to soften the knees. You can take hands on the hips, or if a roll down's okay. Slowly rolling down from here. We're going to do this a couple of times. But we're going to come up by rolling. If you do need to take hands on the hips, that's fine if you've got back issues. Tuck your chin in towards the chest, soften the knees, and bit by bit, you're going to slowly start to lift up, and you're going to let your spine, your head, be the very last thing to lift up. And once the body's up, then the head can lift. So we'll do that another time. Soften the knees, tuck the chin in, ragdoll arms as we slowly release that. And this is wonderful for releasing tension in the back. And then tucking the chin in, we're going to slowly start to lift all the way up, keeping that chin in for as long as you can. Once the body's up, then the head can lift from here. We'll do one more this time. So slowly tuck the chin in, lower all the way down. This time, we're going to stay down this time. Clasp onto your elbows, hold on to opposite elbows and sway gently from side to side, just releasing any tension, any tightness in the body as we go. And then slowly release the hands. You're going to come back down to the floor from here. You're going to swing the legs out to one side and allowing our legs to lengthen from here. So we're going to work into our forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So you might like to move a little bit of the flesh away so you feel more of a connection with your sit bones to the earth, or you can sit on a blanket or a block. Just sit up nice and tall. If you can make the legs nice and active, then we'll keep them nice and active from here. You're going to inhale, and as you breathe out, you're going to start to slowly come forward from here. You can move your hands down. You can take hold of your ankles. You can take hold of the legs. You can take hold of your fingers over the legs from here, and then just soften and relax. Take a few moments just to think about where we can soften in the shoulders. And one of the main things, what happens when we do a seated forward fold, that it invites more attention to move inwards. So we feel this drawing in, this moving inwards. It's allowing our experience to connect to our breath a little bit more. And at the same time, staying present with what we're doing. And staying there a few more breaths. And then slowly releasing from here. Just coming all the way back up. We're going to move the legs out to one side. And we're going to sit into either a kneeling position, or you can carry on sitting how you were. You can just will modify the movement if it doesn't feel right. So from here, you're going to interlock your fingers. So you're going to take your hands behind the back and gently move your shoulders back from here. And then we're going to start to slowly come forward. So some of us might just find it a little way. The next option to move this posture would be to come up onto the thighs. Make sure that they're separated, they're not completely together, hip distance. And then you could start to bring the top of the head to the floor as you let the arms move up and over. If it doesn't feel right, then that's absolutely fine. You can just release. And then slowly releasing. And then we're going to all ease into our child's pose. So open out the feet and just take a moment just to breathe from here. It's a really nice one to get into the shoulders, that one, and it's a nice feeling of release as we move forward. Just a few nice easy breaths from here. And then when you're ready, slowly lifting up, bringing yourself all the way up into a nice comfortable seated position. So we're going to be here a good few minutes, so make sure that you are comfortable. If you need to sit on a block or a brick, you can do that. If you need to support underneath the knees, that's absolutely fine. If you need to take yourself to a wall, that's absolutely fine as well. So we're going to find something that's going to feel good, something that hopefully the body can be still in. So the body can just be comfortable, and then the mind can just focus. And so we're going to just allow your shoulders to move back and down. And you're going to just take a moment just to find that point of balance where you feel quite still and at ease. And then just tune into your breath and start to be aware of simply the rise and fall of your breath. Just keep coming back to your breath. If you have any distractions or noises, just keep coming back to the breath. Meditation is not something that we have to learn, it's something that is within us. So now, if it works, as we breathe in, we're going to silently say the words to ourselves, let's. And as we breathe out, we silently say the words, go. Inhale, let's. Exhale, go. Inhale, let's. Exhale, go. Inhale, let's. Exhale, go. Let's go. Let's go. Continue to do this in your own time for a few more moments. And just let those words drop away now. Just be totally in tune with the rise and fall of your breath. Let yourself take a deeper breath in through the nose from here. And a long, slow, calming breath out. Begin to blink your eyes open. Just carefully releasing the feet. And then just ease yourself all the way back down to a nice seated position on the floor. So rolling yourself down. Just for a moment, hug the knees in towards the chest. And then let your legs either bend or let your legs lengthen out from here. And just for a few more moments, let the body be still. Notice what you're feeling right now. Notice how the body's feeling. Maybe even tuning in with this softness, this lightness that you've created, not only in your body, but also in your mind. And also feeling that soft ebb and flow of your breath. you have got longer, if you wish to stay longer to relax, then stay as long as you need. Once you're ready, just begin to be aware of your breath again. Invite that breath to move in just a little bit deeper. Just feeling that moving through your body. Take a nice long slow in-breath in through your nose. Open the mouth and just the breath out. 2 more times, breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth and the breath out. Last time, in through the nose. Open the mouth and let that breath go. Wriggle fingers, wriggle toes, have a stretch from here. And then bending the legs, release the arms, hugging the knees in and just gently rocking from side to side. Roll over onto the right side and slowly move up into a comfortable seated position. And just allow yourself just to be nice and lifted. Back of the hands can rest on the knees, shoulders moving back and down. Just feeling what you've created in your own body and mind today. Leave you with a really nice quote from Mr. Iyengar. And he says, yoga allows you to find an inner peace that is not ruffled and rolled by the endless stresses and struggles of life. So let your hands seal together. Press your hands in towards your heart centre. Connect to your own inner peace and invite it into the rest of your day and the week with you. Let your head softly bow down towards the hands. Blinking the eyes open. And slowly lifting your head and your heart up. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you feel more stress-free and tension-free. Take care.